set up enclosure for your crested gecko. We're currently in my reptile room right now, and this is going to be his permanent enclosure because in the last video I set up his quarantine enclosure. So I'm going to be using an 18 by 18 by 24 Exoterra enclosure, and it has 2 front closing doors just because I feel like that'd be a lot easier to go in and out to get him out of there for feedings and cleanings and stuff like that. So first you're going to want to start off with some lava rocks or hydro balls. I'm just using I'm just using lava rocks. It doesn't really matter if you use hydro balls or lava rocks, but you do want these in your enclosure. Otherwise your enclosure could get waterlogged if you have any live plants, and also it could make it so everything's just way too wet in there and it can get moldy and damp and gross. These soak up all that excess moisture. I already got these prepped. I rinsed them out really good with some water and got all the excess dust off. There is still extra water in there, but that's okay because it kind of primes them for what we're going to do next. So now I'm just going to start off by adding in the lava rocks. End up using 2 bags for the 18 by 18 by 24 enclosure. If you're using a 12 by 12 by 18 enclosure, you could probably get away with 1 bag, but I would still say probably get 2 because you always want extra instead of not having enough. I'm just going to spread these out so it's pretty much level. Going to be using an Exoterra Bio Drain mesh. It's the mesh you put right on top of here to make sure not too much stuff like goes through and all the water is able to get to the bottom and get absorbed by the lava rocks. They specifically made these for the 18 by 18 by 24 enclosure. They also have other sizes you could use for this enclosure or bigger ones as well. This is what the mesh looks like. It's not metal, it's kind of like fibrous or plasticky, I can't really tell, but it's not metal so it will not rust. That's really good. You do not want a metal mesh because it'll rust over time and you'll have to change it, and that's just a pain, especially if you have a live enclosure. So I'm just going to put this in there. Since it's fitted to the enclosure, it fits really nice too. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you just really want it down there. I am going to be using some coconut fiber. You could use EcoEarth, any brand. I just got a World of Thrive natural compressed coconut fiber bedding. So I'm gonna go get this wet and go break it apart and we'll put it in the enclosure. Can see how absorbent this stuff really is. It holds moisture really well, so you really don't want to over soak this with water. You don't want it to be dripping with water when you put it in the enclosure. Also, it's way cheaper to get these in bricks than get them in a bag. It may look like you're not getting much, but this stuff is so compressed that when you put it in water and break it apart, it'll be basically like a whole bag but half the price. Honestly, this 1 brick will probably fill up his entire enclosure and we'll still have some left over. Okay guys, so it looks okay guys, so I finished mixing this up. We did have a little bit of an accident, but that's okay. That's expected with coconut fibers. So now I'm gonna just start putting the fibers in here. We're gonna make a bottom layer with the coconut fibers, and then we're gonna add some moss to the top layer. Substrate in, kind of laid out, evened out. I did already go ahead and clean my cork. With cork, they can sell it to you with some mold on it that is dried out and dead, but when you put it in a humid enclosure, it can rehydrate the mold and make it grow again. So what I do is brush all the mold I can off really well, and I really try not to get this wet, but if the brush does need to be a little damp to scrub it off, you can do that. You just really don't want to get this wet because it will just be a living area for all the mold you can think of. So after I scrubbed these really well, I did put them in the microwave for a minute. I put them in for 30-second intervals so they wouldn't overheat. You really want to make sure that you're watching these because they do flatten out. This piece was actually curved like a little half circle, but I put it in for 30 seconds and it flattened out. So you just kind of want to watch that. And also, if you are younger, you may want a parent to help you because this can get kind of hot and you might burn yourself, and you also don't want to start a fire either. So you just really want to be careful when you microwave these if you choose to go that route. So now I'm basically just going to start adding my cork and all my decorations and stuff. You can do this however you want, whatever looks nice to you. People think these guys do not really drink out of water bowls because they drink the water off of the leaves that drip down in their enclosure, but they actually do drink out of these, especially if there isn't enough water on the leaves or on the sides of the walls. So you always want to put a water bowl in here just in case. Even if you don't see them using it, they might need it someday. Last but not least, we cannot forget to spray it. Okay guys, this is Delta. His cage is kind of dirty because there's all the cork and his poop because he was in his quarantine enclosure. We wanted to really monitor his poops. But there he is. He's all there by himself. Okay, so now we're gonna be moving him into his cage. His permanent home. There you go, baby boy. We're gonna go in. It's okay. He's still new to us, so we're being gentle. Hi, Delta. There you go. Aw. There he is. I think he loves it, or I at least hope he loves it. I hope so. Well, he ate his 2 crickets. One was a little bit headless, but I don't think he minds. Yep, that is the end of the video. If you really liked watching this video and you were able to find any tips and tricks, don't forget to like and subscribe. And do it for Delta. Don't do it for me. Do it for Delta. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.